Alright, so I wasn't expecting to make this video tonight. Well, to be fair, the video will be going up midday Saturday, so it won't be that bad. Right now it's 11:53 p.m. and it appears that I forgot that the mail was delivered today because I was probably asleep. I'm not sure. But in this package is actually a follow-up to the U4 / Silent Tactile Outemu video, which you can find right here, because these are prototype revisions from Gazzew himself, and Outemu was actually based as fuck, and now we have official Gazzew switches. Like, they actually have the branding of Gazzew on the top housing, which is amazing. I'm so happy that we have these switches now. And the goal of these switches is to fix the issue in which was pointed out last video, where when you were typing, there was this weird sort of leaf friction noise that hindered the silence of the Silent Tactiles / U4 switches. So, I'm going to open these right now because I just took them out of the mailbox and I actually can't hold my excitement. So give me oh fuck, I ripped it. No! So let's redirect our attention over to my mouse and my mojito, which is almost finished. I'll put my mouse on top of the keyboard, and here we are. Here are the parts for the U4 switches. Gazzew, you madman. I'll be eating those tonight. Thank you very much. Okay, so also when I mentioned the whole silent linears coming back, they are. At the top over here, you can take a look that not only does it say linear on top, but we have the silent linear stems back. These are the gray ones that are linear. So we got some, let's see here. We got some lemon, not lemon, sorry, melon candy. Oh! I do believe these are lychee. Okay, and of course, I'll put that in my drink later. And here we go. These are 62-gram linear Gazzew Boba switches. Over here, we have 68-gram U4 Boba switches. Over here, it appears we have 55-gram, so you now have a lesser weight to put on your tactile silent switches if you want. And the last one in the package, this is 60, wait, this has 62 or 67? Oh, okay, so my mistake. This was 68-gram. This is 62-gram. So up until this point, all my keyboards had 62-gram silent tactile switches. Now we have 55 and 57 and 68. And we have 62-gram linears here. So, okay, so up until this point, this is the unboxing or unbagging rather. So if you want to skip to the respective parts, please check either the description or the comment if I pinned one to go to the respective one. However, I think you should stick around because this is a very interesting video and I'm super excited to cover these switches. So as of now, I'm going to switch off this fan so that there's no more buzzing in the background. And let's get to work. Here is everything laid before us. On the left is the 55-gram Boba U4, 55-gram, 62-gram, 68-gram, and of course linears, which is on the right with the gray stem. Now, I don't really think there's going to be much of a sound difference between them, but I think the most important thing is, will they still have the leaf issue? Now, I have not clicked these just yet, or rather pressed these down, so this is just as much of a raw experience for you as it is for me. So let's take a look at these and see if they sound any good. First of all, let's just do a regular, just sort of in front of the camera sound test that I usually do, or what I used to do rather, instead of, properly doing it. So I'm going to take the 55-gram, 62-gram, 68-gram, and linear and just put it in front of the camera. And let's just listen to what it sounds like. Oh, and before we start, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see there's Gazzew on there. That's so cool, dude. Can I make a thumbnail here? Okay. So here we go. This is the 55 gram. First impressions, I actually really like this weighting. Like, it just is enough so that it doesn't require too much force to push down to activate the switch, but because of the lighter weight, there is a bit of a more snappier tactility. Oh, I really like that. Oh, wow. Okay. For a prototype, it's already blowing my mind. And I'm not just saying that because I think just kind of sucking dick. I actually think this is pretty good. 62 gram. Okay, so this is noticeably a little bit stiffer, which obviously is expected, but I never realized how much more stiffer it would be just with a small bit of a difference between 62 and 55 gram. So, okay, all right. And here's 68. Oh yeah, this is much stiffer, but it doesn't take away from the sound, or the sound dampening, rather. Okay, yeah. So same experience in terms of sound, or lack of thereof, rather. But this is definitely the stiffest. Like there is a pretty distinct difference between 55, 62, and 68 now. I didn't really feel much of a difference back then, but that must have been just because of the fact that I had silent tactiles rather than U4s. But I'm saying it here up in front right now. If you want something a little bit more relaxing to type on, but there is still an unignorable bump, go 55 gram. And last but not least, we have the linears, which is an interesting return. And here we go. And just for reference, actually, I do have a lubed Kailh box silent pink here. So here is the silent linear. And here is a Kailh box silent linear. Okay, so the silent linears are ever so slightly more quiet. And the Kailh box is slightly more higher pitched and a little bit less quiet, but because of the 35 gram weight, it is obviously a little bit more easier to press considering the other one is, well, 62 gram. Okay, so, oh, and keep in mind, I will be making a board facelift in the coming weeks. It will be featuring an RK71 I got for cheap, so keep an eye out for that. So, in all, just by testing loose switches, I am already very impressed, and I'm actually going to head over and use my Rack Lam Eng that I also bought off of Gazzew over a year ago, and I'm going to see if I can finally test whether if we have a sound difference between the standard U4s that were sold prior to these prototypes, so I'll be right back. Isn't this a familiar sight? Okay, so I didn't use the Rack Lam Eng because I didn't want to bother with clipping off the legs on the switches, so instead I opted to use the Milmax sockets that I put onto my Varmilo, which are on the G, H, J, and K keys. So here, if you can take a closer look. On the left, we have 55 gram and 62 gram Gazzew, I'm going to call them that now, it's not me, Gazzew U4 Boba switches. And on the right, we have the original U4 switches, 62 gram. Now, you might think, oh, you fucking broke them in a lot, so you can't fucking do that shit. Well, actually, these are fresh from the batch. I re-lubed the switches on the other side as well, so I thought that wasn't fair because I wasn't sure how these are lubed on the inside for the prototypes. So as just a fair competition, I'm just gonna use fresh switches from the bags, and hopefully this will provide an insight as to whether if the leaf noise is still there. So let's do this with and without keycaps first. So without keycaps and then with keycaps. I don't know what the fuck I just said. Okay, so we're gonna start with the U4 switches first, in production month. Definitely on the K key here. Okay, now moment of truth. Moment of truth. Do these cancel out the leaf spring? So far, so good. I don't hear anything wrong. So far, they are promising exactly what they advertised, or they're trying to do. Let's try this one more time. H. I'm excited, I'm sorry. Okay. J key. Let's just like do all these. And the Boba switches. I think they work, dude. I think they are a success so far for the prototypes. Ah, I'm clapping with fucking glee right now. Thank God. Can't get enough of it. Anyway. Okay, so keep in mind the reason why it might sound slightly louder is because of the fact that I didn't go through and lube it myself. The J and K keys, I did put in new switches, so most likely the J was probably one of those that had a better leaf, but you can hear from the other ones, and these are not actually fresh switches. These are lubed and re-lubed from when I was still rebuilding this board. So all this comes from more properly lubed switches. So the fact that these two don't have that leaf ping anymore is a huge good indication that we're going to see some really silent switches to come from Gazzew and his big brain. So up until next time, that is all I have for now, but holy shit, I am clapping my hands here because I also am a little bit trembling in fear, because by that means I'm going to be buying an entire batch of 55 gram from Gazzew, and I'm going to have to take this board apart again.